I'm a little confused. You said he makes everyone better, but
Sure.
I feel like that's totally just because if I just look at the record of the Suns last year with Devin Booker, one of the worst teams in the league. So I feel like he's not the MVP of that team. It's got to be Chris Paul, if anyone.
2, 1.
Terrible.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the release. So before we get into everything, okay, I promised Pastor Brandon that if the Atlanta Hawks, go ahead.
I just need one sound to make. Baka! Baka! Baka!
That's a chicken, bro.
Baka!
Anyways, like I was saying, I promised Pastor Brandon along with several people that I would come on here and apologize to the Atlanta Hawks after how badly I slandered them. And it wasn't all on this podcast. Trust me. Me and Mike, I was talking smack. Trust me.
It's true.
Like, whenever we're playing basketball and we call a fake foul, like, oh, that's that Trae Young stuff, But you want to know what? I got to put some respect on the Hawks' name. Congratulations, and I apologize for doubting you guys. I'm a man of my word, and I'll apologize to the Hawks.
Okay, but you skipped over the most important part, which is telling everyone that Trae Young is the new and improved Allen Iverson.
Oh my goodness!
It's too late. You can't deny it.
Listen. I'll let you say new, but you can't say no and improved yet. Not yet, at least. Okay. and by the way, last week you were arguing that Trae Young had no help when he had a pretty bad game. John Collins, Gallo, Kevin Huerter.
Whoa, he gets a ton of help. Don't get me wrong.
They stepped up.
This is what happens.
Oh, yeah.
This is what happens when you're right and people don't want to admit it. But it's okay.
I said sorry.
No, you didn't say sorry to me. You said sorry to the Atlanta Hawks, not to me.
Okay, so Pastor Brandon, Pastor Brandon, I apologize. I apologize, okay? I apologize for doubting the Hawks.
All right, but before, because other people don't know, because if you didn't follow me on Instagram, on Wednesday night, I called it. I called it to the T. You can ask the people who are in my life group at church. You can
Instagram community, yeah.
Okay, here's what happened. We started life groups at 8. By 8:25, the Hawks were down by 24 points. And I told my entire life group, the second half will be a brand new Atlanta Hawks team. They all had the same reactions you all did. They put me down. They said mean things about me and the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young. And of course, what happened? Everyone turned on the game, and then they came back. And then I also predicted that Paul George and the Clippers would make it to the next round. And of course, what happened on Wednesday night as well? Paul George has a terrific game, and I am now what you call a sports analyst.
God!
And that
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
That Clippers, like the way they've been doing so well, is because Pastor Brandon prayed over them. That's the only reason they have been getting the luck and getting through those game sevens.
And I'm not mad about it.
And Ty Lue, one of the best coaches in the playoffs.
All
so
these
far.
arguments we've had, and everyone who's voted against me, all my opinions have come to pass, pretty much. All of them. And everyone else right here is left in the dust. You're all no playoff team left. But me and the Clippers, me and my Hawks.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. I think it's about time before we get into the hot topics and some announcements that we announced the winners of last week's episode, okay? So just before we talk about it, I'd like to say that it was really close. It was 53 to 47% in terms of percentage.
Wow.
Mike, can I get a drum roll, please?
Yeah. Yes, I already had them ready. Let's go.
Yep, go ahead. The winner is Pastor Brandon.
Back in the game, baby.
This series is tied up 2-2. This series is tied up 2-2, everybody.
It's a tough one. That's a tough one.
And it was a tough one. It was a tough loss, okay? It was a really tight one. Pastor Brandon was voting for himself.
I only do it to check the results, but every time I check, I'm like the first one to vote.
You do it the moment it goes up every time. It's funny. But yeah. Series tied up 2-2. The release, we got this one. Let's bounce back. Now to some announcements real quick, okay? Listen, okay? we have ideas for the future. We have plans. We want to do this in person. We want to get big, right?
Yes.
But we cannot do that without your guys' help, okay? We need you guys to spam the share, follow, like, all these buttons. The comment. Nice things. Not nothing like that Jokic video insulting us. Okay, comment these nice things about us. These really nice things. You know, spam the like button, the share button on every social media platform. Tag big creators. We're a smaller podcast, but hey, we could get up there with the big guys, and we could eventually get the funding to do this correctly. So just a quick reminder to let you guys do that. Also, we're 18 subs away from 100 subscribers. So I have no doubt that you guys can get us enough shares to, you know, get those extra 18 subs and get that 100 by the end of the year, because that would be.
We actually lost like 2 subs, and my heart nearly broke.
We lost 2 subs.
We had like 84, and then we went down to 82, and I'm just like, what are you guys doing?
I was like,
you think you don't need these notifications? You don't need to watch it?
They need to, because you want to know what this is like one of the best basketball podcasts on earth, if not the best basketball podcast. But yes, keep supporting us so we can get the funding, so we could provide even better content. And it's kind of difficult for us to provide better content because, you know, we just distribute bangers every day, you know, all the time, every Monday. Okay, now let's get into the big things. So like Pastor Brandon was saying, the Clippers winning game 6, not even a 7-game series. Rudy Gobert tried to lock up Terrence Mann, and this guy dropped 39 points on 71, 70, and 100 shooting. That's 71 field goal percentage, 70 from the 3, and 100 from the free throw line. That is insane. That's insane.
Crazy. Yeah.
Oh, and then look. Paul George, Terrence Mann, and Reggie Jackson combined for 94 points. That's impressive. Like I said, I'm sorry about the Hawks, but we're done talking about that. The Nets losing 7.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm over. I didn't want them. You saw me, David.
Mike was rooting against them.
I was happy. I was happy when the Bucks won.
He was okay with it.
Damn, all my basketball knowledge kind of sucks. But
let's go.
That's okay.
Let me add something here. We talked about this, and it came to pass. In the last 7 seconds, KD brings up the ball, and when he gets to half court, he gives it to Harden, who thinks about taking it for a split second and gives it back to KD.
Let's be real. He nailed that shot. He nailed that shot in regulation. His fat ass feet did him an absolute.
You saw it. He gave Harden the ball because he was tired, and he was going to see if Harden was going to take it. But Harden didn't want any piece of that ball.
They should have called the timeout. They should have called the timeout.
They should have called the timeout. And let me tell you something. If it were Kyrie Irving, all of those shots that James Harden took and bricked, I have a feeling that Kyrie would have made at least one of them. Of the 3 bricks that James Harden got in the last minutes.
Hey, David, you know what's funny? Kyrie Irving said at the beginning of the year, they don't need a coach.
Yeah.
I remember he was saying that. Oh, we don't need a coach, man. We're too good. We're too good, man.
Yeah. Shut up.
They could have used the coach now. You have a timeout left with 7 seconds left. KD's played nearly the entire game, and you didn't decide to use it. Even Bud used timeout to get Giannis out of the game, or take him out for 15
Doc Rivers
seconds.
was even doing that with Ben Simmons, who played awfully, by the way. Can I just say that?
That's very true.
Yeah, Doc Rivers played 10 players in a game 7. That's just dumb.
You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. But
overhyped coach in the history of the league.
Thank you.
Listen.
He only did it with one team, and that one team was one of the most stacked teams of the 2000s.
You know, up until this series against the Hawks, I was supporting Doc Rivers. I was talking back to Jordan, Mike, and Pastor Brandon about how bad Jordan's been saying it. You can go back to the podcast from a year ago. He's been saying it.
I've been
Pastor Brandon's been saying it. Mike's been saying it. I've been there.
Granted, we were surprised after their regular season showing. They were good.
Of course.
Let's not
considering.
Yeah, but you saw what happened in the playoffs again. So
yeah, exactly.
What's the point of being a good coach and can't coach the playoffs?
Every time.
Ty Lue is a better coach than Doc Rivers right now. Let's call it what it is.
And
at the moment, yes.
When I heard that Jordan was speaking highly of Ty Lue, I thought I was on drugs. That's never happened. That's never happened.
No, he earned it. So that's how it works.
Man, it's
credit when you deserve it.
It was kind of a Nick Nurse situation. You know, Nick Nurse didn't coach that well against the Celtics. Doc Rivers just coached awfully in the entire playoffs, and he's lost my respect. He's clearly not going to get fired.
No,
but I don't know what's going to happen with this guy. Like Ben Simmons got to go.
He's got so many playoff losses too. It's ridiculous. Like I saw that number and I was like, bad coaches have better records than that. Anyway,
I will say this. Embiid put the blame on him after the game, but when they were down by 4, Embiid's the one that gets stripped. He gets stripped.
Yeah, 8 turnovers that game. At that yesterday. He had 8 turnovers that game. So
8 turnovers. I was just looking at a turnover stat when James Harden was the worst at turnovers with 5 on average, and that's 8.
Yeah.
In the game where you can't give the ball away.
Yeah, and B doing a spin move from the top of the 3 line and trying to get all the way he's putting the blame on Simmons like it was all his fault. Like I would have been motivated if I saw Embiid do that and see him get stripped. I'd be like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, what are you doing?
Well, why are they so surprised about Simmons' offense? They already knew this. Simmons is not the reason why y'all lost on 16-point lead and 24-point lead. Like, you guys should this series should have been over in 5 for the Hawks. They have that grind, and Sixers are just frauds. They're frauds. They're embarrassments. The process.
A regular season team, right there.
It's finished.
Regular season.
I don't want to hear anything about the process. It was an embarrassment of basketball that they tanked for years to do nothing, and they don't even have a conference finals to show for it. Pathetic. If any other team
we can officially distrust the process. It's over now.
No, there is no process.
Valid. Okay.
Tanking on purpose to get draft picks, not even make the conference finals. Get the hell out of here, man. Embarrassment, man.
Ooh. Okay.
Someone does it again, they should be kicked out of the league. Like, no, like you can't lose it on purpose like that. All right.
It is true.
Okay.
It is true.
Well, one of my favorite members on the Raptors staff, Sergio baby, man. He's leaving the Raptors to become a head coach of, I'm going to try and pronounce this, okay? I'm sorry. I don't even know what this team is from. It's either Italy, Spain, something, okay? You could comment. I'm sorry. Bertus Bologna. That's what it's spelled. Bertus Bologna, where he'll sign a multi-year deal.
I thought that was a lunch meat.
Hey, man. Big one here.
Hold on.
CP3 sideline for health and safety protocols, but that clearly doesn't matter because Devin Booker can take over a game at any moment.
Stephen A.
40-point triple-double, baby. 40-point triple-double, baby.
He's the new Kobe Bryant, according to Stephen A. Smith.
I don't mind that statement.
You need to pump the brakes. First of all, Kobe Bryant can play defense, so let's not do that.
People don't think that Kobe was an all NBA defender. He has 5-6 all NBA teams.
Yeah, 8.
He's a mentality monster too. Devin Booker doesn't have that.
Booker's great, but come on now. Yeah, come on. This is the same guy who said that Donovan Mitchell was the greatest Jazz player of all time. So how serious must you take him?
Stan Van Gundy was fired from the Pelicans. These guys can't just keep going. New coach. Like, it's costing them money. Like, what are these guys doing?
You figure it out.
Good coaches on the market. Speaking of coaches, Rick Carlisle left the Mavs. If Rick Carlisle goes to that Pelicans team,
how does that happen?
He's a good coach. That shouldn't have happened.
What do they do?
I feel like that.
I blame Porzingis for that. I blame Porzingis for that. I blame Porzingis for everything.
Yeah, I blame Luka too. I don't care, man. Luka did not play like regular season Luka. He passed up. I mean, no, he didn't pass up opportunities. He took too many opportunities, like stupid shots and everything. When he has guys wide open on the perimeter, Porzingis is begging for the ball.
And also trash in the second half. I don't think people noticed that. Like the differences between him in the first half and second half is so different. It's like the top 3 player in the first half, top 20 in the second half. Like that's
easy to coach with an owner like that. It's never easy to coach with an owner that loves being involved.
Center of attention.
Involved, it's very true.
Yeah. That's true. LaMelo Ball, my one of my least favorite players, won Rookie of the Year. But hey, congratulations to him. He deserved it. He deserved it.
That's very deserved.
I can't think of anybody else.
They were a playoff team when he was healthy.
They were.
But that was one of the most weak rookie pools I've ever seen. It was so disappointing.
We were hyping you guys
Tyrese Halliburton and Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton on a good year.
Wait,
isn't up there, even though he's a great team.
Dave, you were hyping him up.
I was hyping him up.
Not me. I remember saying this is one of the weakest draft classes in years.
We were saying that the lottery was supposed to be good though, which it was supposed to be.
Yeah, obviously, I don't know, injuries happen and stuff like that.
Yeah. They got some good guys out of it. We got a Tyrese Maxey, we got a Terrence, man. Was he drafted this year? Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, yeah, he was.
Yeah. Big trade. Kemba Walker and the 16th or the projected 16th pick and a 2025 second round pick have been traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Al Horford, Moses Brown, and a 2023 first round pick. I feel like the Celtics got a good end of that trade.
They seem
he'll still do well though, because he flourishes on a team where he gets the ball all the time.
That's OKC. Like they're a rehabilitation center. Exactly. They're a rehab center. Look what happened with Chris Paul. Chris Paul went there. Now he's going off.
A big trade when you get a draft pick for 2025. I feel like that's kind of irrelevant.
It just adds value and value and value. Like the Thunder have like 85 picks now. This is
yeah, man. They be drafting 8th graders, man. So
yeah, that's facts.
It's true. The All NBA teams and the All NBA defense teams have been released, and now LeBron now has the most All NBA selections of all time. I don't disagree with the All NBA teams. However, I feel like
Tatum.
Defense teams.
Yes, and defense team. Yeah.
Defense. I either Freddie or Anunoby, one of those guys got to go in there because I'm not.
How did Kawhi make it? Hold up. How did Kawhi make the All Defensive team?
I'm not just saying that just because I'm a Raptors fan. Like those guys are actual legitimate, amazing all defense.
OG should have made it over Kawhi. That's exactly. I'm not even a Raptors fan, and I said that. So
it's not. I swear to God, it's not because I'm a Raptors fan. Listen, probably me being a Raptors fan has some part in it because I watch every single one of their games and I see how good of a defender they are.
You and Skip Bayless have the same thing common.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyways, next up. So time for the explanation. Time for the explanation of what we're doing today. So the other day, Jordan and I were talking. Okay, and we were talking about the most valuable player of the playoffs. So we brought it to the 4 of us. We're like, let's talk about who is the best player in the playoffs so far. So today we're going to be talking about the stats, the impact on the team, what they've done, and if there was a playoff MVP award, who would get it? So, Pastor Brandon, this is game 5, so we are back at your court. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Well, because I know pretty much everyone's choices, unless you picked Devin Booker at this point, and we know you're not picking Trae Young, so it's okay. But if I don't know, I'll be honest, I'm torn because I do want to pick Trae Young because of obviously all my claims I've made. But I truly think the MVP thus far, if you had who's left, I'm going with Chris Middleton because I really like how Chris Middleton, if you watched the last game, in the last minutes, you don't want the ball in Giannis's hands. You want him under.
It's true.
You want him.
It's
you don't
true.
Want him the ball.
Okay, yeah, that's what he gets paid to do. So
and Drew Holiday was having a bad game. He made some shots towards the end, but everyone knew Chris Middleton was the guy to handle that ball at the end of the game. I like how he's I would say Chris Middleton is he's a Scottie Pippen to Giannis. He's always there. He's always solid. He's always got roughly around 20 points a game or more. Always got 5 rebounds. He's the Robin to the Batman. And because Batman himself can't be trusted with the ball as a ball handler in the last minute, I'm going with Chris Middleton. And the Bucks have shown why that he's one of the best players in the league, even though he goes underrated.
It's fair. Right. Even though it sounds ridiculous to say that Chris Middleton has been.
My heart wants to say Trae Young, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of like
value,
impact,
the most
impact for sure.
It's
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say his teammate, obviously, the main guy on the team.
Yeah, of course.
Giannis
Antetokounmpo.
First of all, Middleton. Yeah. Middleton has been good late in games. I'll give you that. But Middleton has also yeeted some bricks in some games, especially Game 7. What was he? 6 of 29.
Yeah, he does it.
Him and Holiday were like 4 of 24 in the first half. Like, if there's no Giannis on this team, there would be no. You
got to look at Giannis' numbers. He played 50 minutes that game. Without those 50 minutes from Giannis, like I'd say even if Giannis played that, like just played 40 minutes, like that's an L.
And historic game, by the way, 40, 13, and 5 in a Game 7 legacy-defining game. If he loses this game, man, he'd be ripped to shreds. He'd be ripped to shreds. He'd have to run. I know, but I'm just saying the media would like rip him to shreds. Even though the same media isn't giving him credit, which is something I'm starting to notice. I don't get it. I don't get how you could average 32, 13, 4 and a block in a game or first series, be one of the only 5 guys in NBA history in Game 7 to drop 40, 13, and 5, and you ain't getting credit. This media is crazy.
Okay, but let's be honest, Jordan. When you saw him lay up the ball in that last second, and you saw it bouncing around. That you expected that almost. Like you expected that to bounce around, and you probably expected it not to go in because it was Giannis that put it up. But
no, I expect him to go in.
When I see Chris Middleton shoot, I either know it's gonna miss or it's gonna go in, and more or less, I always feel like it's probably gonna go in. With Giannis, when he puts that ball up, I'm like, oh, I hope it goes in. I hope. I'm praying it goes in. But Chris Middleton, I have a feeling it's gonna go in.
Look, man, this team works because of Giannis. Middleton's even ability to get open shots is because of Giannis.
Sure.
And Middleton has.
Oh, don't roll your eyes. He draws all the attention, man. He's a star player. He's a superstar.
Especially off of the pick and roll. Look at the amount of attention Giannis just gets by setting a pick for Middleton.
He's a superstar in this league.
He drags everyone into the paint, and they always look for Middleton on the perimeter. And sometimes he even chunks those shots, like Jordan said.
He's not double teamed all game. Like Chris Middleton's not an open player. He's getting pick and rolls, but he's not like being wide open for shots. So if anything, Drew Holiday's the wide open shot, but not Chris Middleton.
But if you're a 50, 40, 90 shooter and you still have a little bit of space, I'm expecting you to hit it. But his numbers this playoff kind of say otherwise in certain games.
In certain games. Those certain games are important games too, by the way.
You can't be up and down in the playoffs. You got to be good from start.
Especially on the road. Like he has to be good. He's great at home, but like on the road, especially this series.
That's a regular season thing too with him.
Yeah, field goal percentage goes down by like 10%. His points went down 31 at home to 19 at away. Two of the games they lost away were like less than 10 points.
I'm also choosing Chris Middleton though because I feel like even with Jordan's pick with Giannis, the Bucks are like determined. Like you can tell that this is like this. They know this is their year, and that's why I'm a little bit worried with them playing Atlanta because Atlanta this is the farthest they've ever gotten, and it seems like a good story, but I don't know if they're as ready to go as the Bucks are. Like the Bucks are ready to go to the finals.
Oh my goodness, man! The Bucks have been doing this for years.
They've been knocking on the door for years. Exactly. This is Hawks' first time. They got to learn some stuff before they get there.
Yeah, they got to get it done this year because this year is wide open.
Yeah, no, it's freaky this year, man.
And
no LeBron.
Yeah,
I was calling Miami.
Oh, they got smacked around.
Swept
how
by
good
the
Milwaukee
Bucks.
is, though. They just swept easily.
Milwaukee. But a big reason of that is Giannis, and Giannis is killing it. And I'm telling you, without Giannis, Chris Middleton can drop 40. He's not. I don't think they do anything against this Nets team.
To be the MVP of the playoffs, you got to be the best player on the team.
That's true.
And
that's true.
Middleton ain't the best player on his team. Not saying he's not good, not saying he's not like a top 25 player in the league, or he doesn't show up in big games, but the big moments. But this team is Giannis' team. Middleton knows that. The organization knows that. The defense knows that. Why do you think they run a wall against him? What other players do you know in the league get run a wall? Like, oh, Giannis is so bad because he has to run a wall defense.
He's automatic because he's automatic in the paint. He's one of the most dominant post players.
Fun fact: 83% in the restricted area this series against the Nets. That is Wilt Chamberlain.
That's ridiculous.
Level
4 to 5 times he gets there, he scores.
Yeah. You cannot win an NBA championship without 3-point shooting. That's all. That's my point in this. Chris Middleton is the reason why the Bucks are where they are. I know Giannis takes the face and the cover of all of it, but if Chris Middleton's not there giving up some threes and just being there to be that ball carrier, Giannis is nothing.
They're like the Kobe and Shaq, just like a worse version of it. It's like when they won the big three, right? Kobe's gonna hit the shots like Middleton, but the defenses they know themselves. Giannis is the guy who's going to get it there.
Because when Shaq was on that team, Shaq was that guy.
Yeah.
Shaq was the guy, not Kobe. At the time. Now I have Kobe higher all time, but
yeah.
All right, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right,
I think we destroyed that argument. So, Mike, I want you to take that away. Go ahead, Mike.
Let's go across the pond. Let's go across the conferences for a second. And let's go to the most dominant team in this playoffs. The Phoenix Suns. They took 10 games to take out LeBron and Jokic. 10 games. That's a gentleman's sweep each on average. That made me seem like that was crazy. They were the most well-rested team. All other teams took time to get there. to the conference finals. They took no time. They're there. They showed out already against the Clippers. Not obviously the Clippers come back later, but it's insane. And I want to say the best player on that team and the one that's been spearheading them there, Mr. Devin Booker. After he's been slandered by his defense already, so this is going to be kind of harder to prove. But okay, 40-point triple-double. He's had 40 points in his last 3 games. 40 points in his last 3 games. Makes everyone around him better. He like Cameron Payne shouldn't be playing like this.
It's true. G League.
Jay Crowder shouldn't be playing like this, even though he's a vet. I love him for what he's doing right now. And even with Chris Paul out, my guy gets insane numbers. Crazy. I mean, I know what you guys are going to say. The last 2 teams he took out, Lakers, Nuggets, were missing some key components. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter because he wiped them. He made them look powerless. He's a balanced player, his offensive output, and his spirit. Let's be real. He's gone up in the playoffs. I think he brings a lot of fire to that team. He backs his players up. Yeah, I think he's got the energy and the mentality to win the Larry O'Brien for sure.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm a little confused. You said he makes everyone better, but
sure.
I feel like that's totally just because if I just look at the record of the Suns last year with Devin Booker, one of the worst teams in the league. So I feel like he's not the MVP of that team. It's got to be Chris Paul, if anyone.
That's what I like to hear.
That's what I was about to say.
And he didn't make nothing happen with anyone. So I don't know how you can say that he makes everyone better when his team was one of the worst teams last year.
I think he makes everyone better because of the way he approaches the game, the way he's brought these bad players up. And yes, Chris Paul has provided that support, but who's getting the points at the end of the day? Who's being unguardable in a lot of situations? It's Devin Booker.
Listen,
who's willing them to win games? Who's willing them to close out series?
Wasn't that CP3 though? Wasn't that CP3? Because CP3 was big in Game 5 against the Lakers, then big in the fourth quarter in Game 6. Then we saw throughout the Nuggets series, he just smacked them around. This man had like 15 assists on like 1 turnover.
It's true.
Yeah, I thought he had no turnovers.
Oh yeah, 0 turnovers, right? So here's the thing: if we're talking about best scorer, I think Devin Booker arguably has that on lock.
Oh, hell
we're talking about the best player.
Hey, everyone's missing something. I mean, Giannis is missing a little.
Oh yeah, I mean, them free throws we do, man.
That's a mark out false shot right now.
It's true. Chris Middleton is not the impact player that Brandon thinks he is. He can't dribble to the rim every single time and make that shot.
Oh my!
He can't. He can't just go in and be unguardable.
That's a Giannis. That's a Giannis
every
thing.
single time. Giannis goes in every single time, and it's going in.
How else would he get 80% in the paint, bro?
You heard the cold hard facts there.
In the restricted area.
Yeah.
Why is Chris Middleton gonna drive to the net when there's a bunch of bodies there anyway? Why doesn't he just shoot the threes like he does? It doesn't make sense why he's like, what?
Yeah, he's playing off of Giannis.
Exactly. I was about to say that.
Giannis is the reason he can shoot those threes and get it for him.
Yeah. The only way you can
other players have both.
Exactly.
That's what you need.
And the only way I could even hope of stopping Giannis in the paint is if you have at least a double team around him. That's leaving somebody open. And that's 2 of your really good defenders. And one of those really good defenders is either on Jrue Holiday or Chris Middleton. And I'd assume that the better defender is on Chris Middleton. That's leaving him wide open. Giannis is getting that easy kick out 10 assists. Like, it's off of Giannis. Now back to Mike's point about Devin Booker, because just lay that to rest. I had 0 rebuttal for Devin Booker. He's just that guy, especially after what he did yesterday. But the fact is, Chris Paul, because like Pastor Brandon was saying, they were bad last year. They were pretty damn awful. They had a good bubble. They had a good bubble run, but so did the Miami Heat. We see where that got them, right? So did T.J. Warren. I don't even know where he's at. I think he might. He's hurt. Injured. Yeah, he's hurt.
Yeah,
right?
He's hurt. So
but like Chris Paul just brought that team to another level of like good. You got a vet that everyone likes and like good at passing the ball, can score if he needs to. I'd say the big thing with Devin Booker though, like in terms of him actually being more valuable than Chris Paul. He's a huge morale booster in terms of what he could do. Like especially last night, Chris Paul wasn't there, and they did pretty well.
Yeah,
they did pretty damn well. Right, he did great leading. So he proved that he is capable of it without Chris Paul.
I'm saying it took Michael Jordan a long time. Well, not a long time, a little bit of time to get to where
it
he
took
needs
7
to be.
years. Like it actually wasn't 7 years.
He needs people at it. That's why I don't like the honest argument of like he can't do it. That's ridiculous because that's what Barkley brought up. He needs a little bit of time, let him settle down, and then he'll start performing.
The only problem I have with David,
a lot of people need another player. Devin Booker had nothing.
Yeah,
Devin Booker pretty much had no help for the 4 years he was in this league before that.
It's Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and some old guys. Like
there's no Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers right now, and that is a huge reason on why that guy had a big game last night. Because if there's a Kawhi Leonard there, that's not happening.
Kawhi hasn't been guarding the best.
That's what I was
going
to
to
say. Is Kawhi and Paul George wasn't guarding him last night either. Nicholas Batum was guarding him. I saw Marcus Morris guarding him. Terrence Mann was guarding him sometimes. Paul George didn't take that big matchup. And Kawhi doesn't demand matchups. As much as I love Kawhi, he's my favorite player in the league. He's not going to demand that matchup.
Defense. If Kawhi is there, he's going to play defense on Booker, and there's no way.
How do you know that, though? Because he didn't play defense on Doncic.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't take that matchup.
What do you know? Oh, my
himself.
Gosh. He didn't demand that matchup on Doncic. And what he
Mitchell.
did, Mitchell, he played defense on Doncic, I'd say, for at least like about 15 minutes throughout that entire series. And whenever he was on Doncic, he did a great job. But he didn't demand that matchup, and Ty Lue put Marcus Morris on him.
That's the reason it took them
dogged.
Yeah, that's the reason it took them 7 games because that allowed Luka to pop off and win games single-handedly.
Kawhi does play like a robot though, and he's unstoppable. But in terms of the defensive end, you can't be like, oh, Booker wouldn't be doing that with Kawhi on him because Kawhi wouldn't be on him.
Chris Paul is. It's not just something always happens to Chris Paul. And I don't even think COVID's the thing that's gonna happen yet. Something always happens to Chris Paul. So I'm waiting on more.
Hey, something's already happened to Chris Paul. Suns still win games.
Oh no, it didn't affect him. Something's gonna happen where I still believe there's always something that happens to Chris Paul. Besides this COVID little scare.
All right, David, who's
Yes, we got about 7 minutes left, so I'm gonna say this quick, okay? So I didn't have a lot of time to change my pick because I was going to, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna bang it out. You know, my guy's out of the playoffs at the moment. He did lose to Pastor Brandon's Clippers, which I'm not too upset about. But I personally feel like the MVP of this playoffs would probably be Donovan Mitchell. And I chose Donovan Mitchell for some good reasons, okay? So first of all, let's listen to the stats. He's almost shooting 50-40-90 with 85.2 free throw percentage, 46 field goal percentage, and 43 3-point percentage. That's good efficiency. He's also with a 32.9 points per game, 30.5 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, 1.1 steals a game, and 0.3 blocks. And he did everything Donovan Mitchell-y possible he could. Because he came back from being hurt, from playing some bad games, some small minutes, and he played well, like really well. Rudy Gobert was guarding Terrence Mann. And did you see that interview with Donovan Mitchell? It was like, he only missed 6 shots, and Rudy Gobert was guarding him? That's your defensive player of the year?
Fake defensive player of the year, but it's okay.
Okay, yes, but not the playoffs. But like it's just I'm just saying. I will admit he did have 2 bad games, but like Rudy's only taking max 7 shots. Who else is going to be scoring like Donovan Mitchell and taking a lot of shots besides Bogdanovich? Because Bogdanovich does that. Okay, Mike Conley's hurt, and Donovan Mitchell's coming out here and just hitting it with like he's being unguardable at the moment. And so that's all I got to say.
We can't say at the moment because he's out.
Okay.
But...
He was being unguardable at.
Question: can you be the MVP of the playoffs and be out?
Exactly. That's why I said my argument really applied to this because he's out of the playoffs. I was saying this, them going into Game 7 with a lot of momentum, and well, not a lot of momentum, but going into Game 6, you know, in LA. I'm just like, I thought
fair,
they could do it.
He's a better playoff performer than Chris Middleton. That's for sure. I think
He is.
I mean, let's go.
No. Don't even
let's
do
go
that.
Back to last year.
That team.
Let's go back to last year too, because exactly. It's very true.
But one thing about Mitchell, man, this needs to be talked about more.
Let's hear it.
He's like Kobe in one way. Like like the worst part about Kobe.
In one way,
sometimes-
Pastor Brandon.
In one way, and it's
his worst part. Listen up.
Oh, I know
Like,
what it is.
you know how
I
Kobe,
understand.
had that bad shot selection at times.
Yes.
Mitchell
Yeah.
got some of that.
Yes. I will agree with that.
Mitchell is shooting 3-pointers while being double teamed,
Okay.
like he's Stephen Curry.
Uh-huh.
Mitchell also seems to have the wrong time when to get hit, want to be involved and not be involved in the offense. Example, game 5. Your teammates are hitting threes and you're celebrating, but you haven't got the shots up yet. You know that those threes are going to stop falling and you're going to have to go off at some point. And when they needed him to do it the most, which was in the third quarter, nowhere to be found. Fourth quarter of game 6, nowhere to be found. And this is actually a trend with Donovan Mitchell. Game 7 against the Nuggets, what do? He just yacked up some bricks, right? That's what he did.
Yeah.
Then we look at game 5 against Houston. Did the same thing again. Mitchell's a great player, but like Mitchell has to.
It's a bad shot selection.
Bad shot selection, and he's not picking his right times when to go off. Right?
Okay. Go ahead, Pastor Brandon.
Mitchell is Westbrook without a mean face. That's all it is. He's just he's Westbrook without a mean face. Okay?
Come on, man. Listen.
Player, they always do the same thing. They never come clutch when they need to.
Listen, Jordan, you're talking about the shot selection of Donovan Mitchell, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to bring up some Kevin Durant stats real quick because I did have this written down as a quick little rebuttal.
Durant's efficient.
He's efficient. He's so efficient.
Yeah,
and I'm not upset about that. Okay, I'm not
okay.
talking about his efficiency because he's a 50, 40, 90 guy. However, he did shoot horribly in game 5 and he did not step up. Donovan Mitchell has stepped up in the past 2 years. However, he has done some bad shot selections. Also, in that game 7, okay, cool. Westbrook. Chris Middleton's not the best player on this list. Okay, now listen.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant took back-to-back spin around threes. Now, one is big foot got him a 2-pointer. Respect to him, dagger.
Mm-hmm.
However, Drew Holiday's guarding him. Man, airballs it. He airballs it. People. Anybody here watch The Fresh Prince?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
People were putting him beside Carlton shooting in that game where Will was like dunking and everything. People were putting those two close together because he airballed that and bombed that, and that was a stupid shot to take with Drew Holiday on for all NBA defensive first team is guarding you.
All right. One thing I will say though is that KD got his teammates involved more often. Or still seem to be like
dropped a couple of 11 assist games, having the offense run through him.
I'm telling you, right moments KD knew when to shoot and like when to pass. Mitchell, he puts up the numbers. Same thing with Booker, right? Obviously, Middleton just a second fiddle guy.
Okay,
so
but hold on. Before look, that game was everyone was gassed, and at least Jordan's pick Giannis and my Middleton showed that even when they were tired, they were gonna finish out that game. The other ones didn't have it in them. Just putting it out there.
Man, I said that I was gonna change my guy because he's out of the playoffs. However, we only have a minute and 20 seconds remaining. So let's say our final goodbyes. Okay. Listen, the 50th episode is coming up, and it's probably going to be a PB&R playoffs episode. So drop a comment, email me, DM us, anything you want, and we will see if we can get that topic talked about and argued about. But remember to like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff because it'll help us grow, get the funding we need to provide even better content for you guys. Thank you guys so much.
And vote for the real. Hey, vote for the real winners as well, because that was an atrocious pick with Chris Middleton.
The person who gets his predictions right.
Okay, and listen.
Vote for Giannis. Giannis is the man.
Okay. We're running out of time. So have a great day, evening, night, wherever you guys stay at. Also, I noticed that there's some people voting that they did not watch the video. They just don't like me. So how about we vote if you watch the video, and if you want to vote, go ahead. Click the link in my bio. It'll take you right to the YouTube, and boom, you're at the video. You can watch it for yourself. Have a great day, evening, night, wherever you stay at. Make sure to do all these liking things. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.